Hey y'all, how are y'all doing? Sorry, I was putting dinner in the oven and trying to get on here. How's everyone's Sunday going? Hey Megan, if you're still here. Catherine, Tyla, Ebony, Catherine. Hey Mallory, Eddie. How are all y'all doing? Holler girl. I don't know if Brittany's going to come up. I know she wasn't feeling good. Where did my phone go, actually? Speaking of, I know she wasn't feeling good. So I don't know if she'll come up or not. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Nicole. I'm very curious to see what they're going to say tonight. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in my Discord. If y'all hear my dog barking, it's because my dog and Tristan are playing, and I know it's probably annoying. Let me go to my Discord and drop this. Okay. All right, it's in there if anybody wants to come up. I got a new Discord, though, so not everybody in here is on that Discord anymore. I know, me too, Mallory. If you want to come up, Mallory, I dropped that. Oh, there's Eddie. Hey.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing just peachy.
Me too. Brittany does not feel good.
That's not good.
I know. She said she's been throwing up.
Hopefully she goes to the doctor's office and gets checked.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, City Girls Glam. For going live, I moved over here because I would rather be with you. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy everyone's here. Thank you for joining. Yes. Well, she told me that later this evening. Yeah, that's what she told me at like 9 or so. She said she'd come on and just do a recap of everything and just let herself get to feeling a little bit better. Hey, Lady V. What are you thinking, Eddie?
I hope they got somebody.
I do too.
You know, what would be interesting is if it was the dude outside of the food truck.
Yes. Wait, the one with the hoodie or the other one?
Yeah, the one with the hoodie.
Yeah, see, I have had my eyes on him for a while. I just thought he was acting very odd. Welcome, Sarah. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome.
Is she really from Massachusetts?
Oh my gosh, I can't even say that state, y'all. If y'all have seen my pre-records and anytime I have to say that state, I butcher it.
Are you really from Massachusetts, Sarah? Or Taxachusetts?
Candace, I'm adding you. Thank you, babe.
So, Sarah, we're not too far from each other. I'm in New Hampshire.
Hey, Candace.
Hi, guys. How you doing? Oh, sorry, my son's talking at the same time.
Oh, you're good. Hey, Shay. Worcester, born and raised.
You know, you said it properly. When I first moved to New Hampshire, I used to call it Worcester.
Did I say it right?
No, you said it right.
Oh,
you said it right.
You said it right. I used to call it Worcester.
Oh, wow. Oh, see, she said that too.
Or Worcester, yeah.
Wow, I was not I'm surprised. I'm proud of myself for saying that right, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Lady V. Did she want to come on? I hope she did.
Yeah, I think she didn't realize she's muted.
Okay. Hey, Lane's World, Rep Mom. Hey, Jane.
Hello.
Guy used to next door to the girls. He was kicked out of the home due to but is that who's saying that? I wonder if that's true, or if because there's so many rumors going on already about the case. Y'all know how I am with me and my facts. But I did hear that that hoodie guy lived next door to the girls. But I don't know if that's true or not. Have y'all heard?
I haven't heard that either, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Right.
Because he was when I watched that video, I was like, man, he is so sus. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if people said that he arrived with the girls, right?
Yeah.
If he arrived with the girls, why was he so distant?
Right. It's in 5 minutes. I have it pulled up on here already, just so we don't miss it. I'm kind of anxious about what they're gonna say. I hope they have at least a suspect. You know what I mean?
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Allie shared. Did you guys pull up that Moscow Slayer the other day?
No, I didn't.
Well, he changed his name from the Moscow Slayer to Tier 1 Combat Vet. He actually posted pictures of Mary Jane Kelly from 1888, undoctored, in relationship to this case. It's pretty graphic.
Yes, I did see that. Law enforcement did say he isn't. That as of now, he is not a suspect or a person of interest, unless that changed since last time I saw it. Is that correct? But they said the guy at the food truck. They didn't specify who. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just know in the video, every video you watched of the food truck that was on the news and stuff like that, that news reported, they kept circling that guy's image.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Alyssa. Law enforcement can also say that to make sure he doesn't flee or put his guard up. I agree. Mallory said that she heard about him getting kicked out of the bar. I hope we're not disappointed, Natalie. Hey, beautiful. Y'all welcome coming in. What do y'all think in the chat? I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts. We don't hear a lot of stuff on the news here from that in Georgia either. Brenda said she's in California and they don't hear anything on the news really. On the whole thing, like, what are y'all's thoughts, Mallory?
You want to know why you don't hear it all over the news?
Why? I'm pretty sure.
Because it's not a shooting.
Right. Oh.
If it was a shooting, it would be plastered all over the news.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to put
Good
my,
afternoon and welcome. My name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department. The last spelling of my name is F-R-Y. I'd like to introduce Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier, Colonel Kedrick Wells of the Idaho State Police, University of Idaho President Scott Green, Dean of Students for the University of Idaho, Blaine Eccles, and Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. This incident has shaken our community, has continued to shake our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims. We will continue to vigorously pursue the investigation and pursue justice in this case. It is a complex and terrible crime, and it will take some time to resolve. Today, we want to clarify what we know and where we're at in this investigation. Our primary goal is public safety and to get a completion of this case and bring someone to justice. We continue to dedicate all the resources to this investigation. We've had 646 tips received, and all will be processed, vetted, investigated, and cleared. We've done over 90 interviews in this case so far, and the Moscow Police Department is utilizing the assistance from the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Latah County Sheriff's Office. The personnel that has been assigned to this from the Moscow Police Department is 4 detectives, 24 officers, and 5 support staff. Federal Bureau of Investigators, we have 22 investigators in Moscow, 20 additional are assigned and located in the Treasure Valley, Salt Lake City, Utah, and West Virginia. We have 2 behavior analysis individuals from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For the Idaho State Police, we have 20 investigators, a public information officer, ISP forensic services, and a crime scene team. We have 15 uniformed troopers to assist our community to help provide the additional resources for our patrols. Detectives are looking to develop any content that would help us in this event. Anyone who has observed any notable behavior or has any video surveillance or can provide relevant information about these murders, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. Or you can email the tip line and that is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. At this time, I would like to introduce Captain Lanier to give you some additional information.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain over the Operations Division for the Moscow Police Department. My last name is spelled Lanier. I just want to first state that this tragic murder has shaken the community. It's been very hard for members of the community, and it's been equally difficult for our officers and for the investigators. We will continue to put all of our resources towards investigating and bringing this to a resolution. Here's what we've determined so far. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Morgan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. 2 surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning of November 13th, at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. The Latah County coroners conducted autopsies, and detectives have been provided with the results of those autopsies. We know that the autopsies confirmed the identity of the 4 victims, determined the cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing, and determined that it was likely all 4 victims who were asleep during the attack. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of sexual assault. Investigators have determined 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our Facebook page and on our website. And these are areas that they have canvassed for additional surveillance video and tips, and have contacted several residents in the areas. The areas are generally south of Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive and west of Highway 95. Detectives have also canvassed several other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for additional surveillance video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road and searched those dumpsters in an effort to find additional evidence, but nothing of note was discovered. Early in the investigation, local businesses were canvassed in an effort to see if any fixed blade type knives may have recently been purchased. And currently, there are no suspects in custody, and we have not located a weapon. I want to assure you that every investigator involved will continue to put all of their resources and all of our partner agencies' resources into continuing this investigation. We do appreciate the community support. We understand how stressful it is, and we will continue to work through this situation. At this time, I would like to turn the mic over to Colonel Wills from the Idaho State Police.
Thank you, Captain. My name is Kedrick Wills, KEDRICKWILLS, and I serve as the Director of the Idaho State Police. And I appreciate your attendance this afternoon as we talk about this horrific, horrific crime. The murders of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee are a tragic loss to all of us. Nothing we can do will bring back these young lives. But we have an absolute commitment to working together to solve these senseless murders. And the way that we know how to do that is partnerships. And our partnership with the Moscow Police Department, with the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the University of Idaho to bring this issue to a conclusion and bring this to justice is absolute. We continue with Idaho State Police resources here on the ground in Moscow and in other throughout Idaho. Whatever the needs are, that's where what we want to do. And the chief spoke about the Idaho State Police resources that are here, and he spoke about patrol resources. And we have those uniformed troopers here in Moscow and on the campus of the University of Idaho to help people to feel safe and to provide that security to the people that are here, both in the student body as well as in the community at large. And we will continue to do that as long as is necessary throughout this time. In addition, that's in addition to our forensics team that was here, in addition to our investigative team and all the other state police resources. We know that people want answers. We want answers too. As was already mentioned, this is really, really difficult for those investigators, those dedicated professionals who are investigating this crime. And a lot of people have expressed their desire to help. And the best thing that most of people can do to help is to stop with any kind of rumors and just seek official information that comes out of the Moscow Police Department. Anything that we have that we can share from a law enforcement perspective, we will be sharing just as soon as we can, because that's how we think that we can get this to conclusion. Please rely on official sources of information, and please be patient. I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything, the interviews and everything that's been done. This takes time for our investigators to work through. So please be patient as we work through this investigation. We owe this to these young kids, to these young adults. We owe it to them. And we are absolutely dedicated to make sure that that happens. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the University of Idaho President Scott Green.
Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Last name spelled Green, like the color. First, we continue to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the victims. As stated earlier, we want justice and appreciate the increased resources from the Idaho State Police and FBI that have been brought to bear on this crime. We fully appreciate and share the frustration of our students, employees, parents, and community members who continue to push for answers. While we wait for answers in the investigation, we've ramped up our security safety practices and are listening to students and supporting them in any way possible. The University of Idaho's primary focus now is on supporting our students and working to meet their varied needs. The police continue to inform us that they believe this was a targeted attack, but we recognize this is not good enough for some of our students who will want to complete their semester remotely until the person who committed the crime is in custody. We are also hearing that some students want to be back on campus and in Moscow because they gain comfort from the structure of classes and being with their friends and professors. All reactions and feelings are valid, and we all process these tragedies differently. We're asking instructors to plan for both sets of students as we finish the semester. We will be communicating decisions early this week so that families can discuss and plan their individual response over the Thanksgiving break. We learned a lot during COVID, and we have many course delivery options our faculty can deploy to meet student needs. Student and employee safety remain our priority. We have increased security patrols on campus since we were notified of this off-campus incident. We have also benefited from increased Idaho State Police presence on our campus, which we are grateful for. They have been a very visible force, and they will continue this dedicated presence on our campus into the foreseeable future. Importantly, they have also assigned resources to the community since this crime occurred off campus. In addition to the campus-wide precautions being taken, we offer the following safety and security features in our residence halls. We will continue our Safe Walk, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All residence halls are locked 24 hours a day and only accessible by students that live in the building. All guests must be accompanied by a resident of the building. Each residential community has a dedicated resident assistant staff and a live-in full-time resident director to help ensure a safe environment. Every evening, there are resident assistants that are on duty to perform safety and security rounds in their area, including during fall break. Housing and resident life always has at least 2 full-time staff members that are on call to provide support and emergency response 24 hours a day, including over the fall break. And our Learning Center Information Desk Living and Learning Center Information Desk is open 24 hours a day and will be open all of fall break for our students' needs. While we certainly hope there's a swift closure with the arrest of whoever is responsible for this crime, we must also be prepared for all the possibilities, including a lengthy investigation. We must balance safety concerns and the need to grieve, along with the long-term needs of our students and our employees. We're making security our top priority. We are also planning for the very real possibility that some students aren't comfortable returning to campus. We will do our best to meet the needs of all students. Our faculty is working hard over the break to consider alternative delivery methods. We will also continue making counseling services available for all our students and employees as we process our grief. The care and concern for our Vandal family is our primary role, and we take that very seriously. We are a Vandal family. Nothing means more to us than family. And I'd also like to just thank all those for the great outpouring of support we've received from the nation. It's been incredible time, and all those who stand in solidarity with us, just know it means a great deal to us. Thank you.
So we're going to open it up at this time to about 8 to 10 questions. We ask that only one question is asked per person, please. And I would also like to just see if there's an Argonaut reporter here. I think it's only fair to give our student reporter the first shot.
Speak up if you're in the room, if you're from the
Mayor?
Argonaut. Are you from the Argonaut?
Are you from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Is anybody from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ted Williams, Fox News. You all have said that these killings are targeted. Can you share with us why you believe they are targeted killings? And do you know who, if any, of the victims were the actual targets of the killings?
As we stated earlier in the previous press release or press conference, we believe they're targeted because we take a totality of all the circumstances that we're looking at. Do we know any one person that it was targeted? We're not able to say at this point in time due to our investigation, but we still believe that. But we, like I said, we take a totality of everything that we're looking at.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. On the resources, do you have the resources that you need?
We do have the resources. It is an incredible outpouring of what we received from the Idaho State Police and from the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Latah County. Anything we ask for is given. So at any time, if we need additional, all I have to do is call the colonel, and he will provide that. He's already guaranteed me that, and I know the FBI has said the same thing.
Hi, Emma Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
Can you clarify, you said it was made from the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you clarify if it was another individual made the call?
Actually, if we could just go to this one first. And
Well, it's the phone, that's why I wanted to.
so what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call or phone, excuse me. And we're not going to divulge who made that call it's part of our investigation still. And when we get ready to release that, we will.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not confirming a roommate called 911, but used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
How many?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
Do you guys have any idea if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us. I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount. And that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
If you look in Washington at all, I guess.
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take two more questions.
Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
You don't know how this happened without the other 2 roommates hearing it or waking up or noticing?
We do not. One more question.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out. And I can assure you, we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
Is this related to any Adam?
Let me show you the toxicology report. This person will strike again.
In terms of technology, do you think the victims might be connected?
Yikes.
So that throws my theory out the window. But the thing is what confuses me is the cops said that they were sleeping, but they wouldn't say if they were in their rooms.
Right.
So how does the cops know they were sleeping if they weren't in their rooms?
That's a very good question.
I think that this press conference was supposed to just be a confirm or deny the information that's out there. And I think it just turned south once the questioning started. And there was a lot that he knew he couldn't say, but he also knows he wants to give the information away, but he knows he can't.
And
And
that puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. And I mean, you could tell because his face gradually got redder and redder too as he was talking, that I think he just was like, crap, these questions are going to, if I answer something wrong, I think that started going in his head. Like, you know, if I say something out of turn, or what if I accidentally say yes or no to the wrong thing, or the way that they're saying it, or I think he just started to get really nervous. And I don't think it was supposed to be a presser that gave us new information. I think it was just supposed to be one that confirmed the information that was already out there, or
I
stuff that's kind
agree.
of going back and forth.
Absolutely agree.
Now, apparently, that reporter or whoever she was literally took the question right out of my mouth. If they think it's just one person, how does one person do all these violent crimes that take time? It's not like a pew pew and it's like 2 seconds and you're done. You know what I mean? This is like multiple.
Not wake anyone up, or even if it was,
Yes.
even if it was someone who did die in this act, like in this thing,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing it to one person, why wouldn't the 3 other ones wake up? Or if you're doing it to the second person, why wouldn't the other 2 wake up until you get to the 4th person, and then you still have the 2 other roommates?
Right. And obviously he said, and didn't he say more than one or just one had self-defense wounds?
I think, how did he word it?
He said
worded it
but
really
it came off as more than one.
Yeah. So that means in my eyes, they were awake or they woke up or something. Correct?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it also depends. It's not like, unless you're an assassin or something, you're not going to get that KIL shot the first time.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. But like, if all of them didn't have self-defense wounds, that makes me think like some of them were sleeping and didn't know what was coming, but some of them had self-defense wounds. That makes me think that they
could
were
have woken up
awake
though after
or
the first
right after the
one,
first. Yeah.
and then started to fight back too.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, it could be both. The only thing about them, everyone saying like they could have been so drunk that they didn't know. I mean, just watching the girls walk, like, yeah, they looked tipsy, but not to the point where like they were stumbling over each other.
Right.
Either. But
at the same time,
interesting.
What if one of them had a medicine that they take that helps them sleep? Because I know, like, even if when I used to drink, it didn't matter if I had my sleeping medicine, I took it because I knew I wasn't going to stay asleep if I didn't. Like, we don't know all circumstances that surround every person in the house, because once I took my medicine, like, I was out. There was no waking me up.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of the other thing I thought was interesting that he was saying. I need to start writing things down.
Yeah.
I do think that they know who the target was, though.
Yeah.
Based on how he said.
Sounds that way.
Yeah, based on how he said where everyone was found and stuff, and that will come into play later.
Mm-hmm.
And he also brought up, like, we can't bring up the target of the attack.
Right.
So I think they know who this was centered around, but obviously for the investigation, they can't say anything.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I do think they're doing a good job. I think they're under a lot of pressure. I mean, not only from the families and the students and the parents of the students that all attend that school, but, you know, FBI, the eyes of the public, YouTubers, like there's a lot of eyes on these people, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's good too, because a lot of police departments are not necessarily willing to call in the FBI that soon after too.
Exactly.
So
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that they were willing to be like, we need help in this right away, I think should give some people confidence that it's gonna go. And Michaela Nicole, I don't know who I think the target is. I at this point, there's been so much information thrown around that at first I thought it could have been the girls, then I thought it could have been the couple, then I thought it was the girls again, and now I'm just like, I have no idea.
Yep. Let me go take dinner out of the oven real quick. Y'all hold down the fort for me, please.
Okay.
Thank you. You're not by yourself, Mallory, at least.
I'm here. I'm sorting
Um,
laundry, but I've got you.
I
well,
did read somewhere that one of the girls tried getting a hold of her recent boyfriend that she started dating.
that's what they were talking about. One of the questions in there was about that, about both Maddie and Kaylee both called. I want to say it was Kaylee's ex-boyfriend that she had just broken up with, but had been on and off for a really long time.
Right.
And it was her that they shared the dog together.
Oh, okay.
So that they both tried 4 times each, I believe. Between like 2:20 and 2:50 or something in between there. I don't know the exact times.
Right.
But he was asleep, so he didn't answer or see any of them. So people have had a lot of speculation on why that was too.
It is weird.
Yeah, I came across the thought today that maybe the person who did this like let the dog out of the house, and then they realized that the dog wasn't there, and their first instinct was to call him to come help look for the dog or something. And that would be why they wouldn't have called police if it was like an emergency situation.
Oh, okay.
And that would also be why the dog was not in the house when all this happened. But I don't know for sure. I mean, that was just a thought that came, and I was like, oh.
That is a good thought, though.
Well, and that would make sense as to why, like, they even, well, that's the thing, too, is I thought that was interesting in the press conference, is he specifically ruled out the roommates. He ruled out, well, when I say ruled out, he says are not suspects, or cleared, or however he stated it, was the roommates and the guy in the white hoodie at the food truck. But then when specifically asked about the male acquaintance that they called that night, he said, we've looked through and cleared everything regarding that, but he never specifically said that person was cleared like he did the others.
Right.
So I wonder if they've just cleared, like, oh, those calls
Part of it.
And like the calls themselves had a meaning behind them. Like if they maybe left a voicemail or sent text or something with it being like, oh my gosh, call us back, blah, blah, you know what I mean? And that itself is not suspicious, and that aspect's been cleared, but him as a person has not been cleared. But then I don't know.
What did I miss?
Right. Blue petunias. That was my thought too, because it's partially his dog as well. And it's not going to be the same type of thing as calling the police for your dog getting out. You're going to call as many people as you know, but when it's also someone else's dog, they have partial ownership. That could be why they're both freaking out and calling over and over.
So again, whose dog? It was
Kaylee's and her ex-boyfriend's, correct?
Jack or Jake?
Whichever one was Kaylee's ex-boyfriend.
I don't remember. Like, there's so many Jacks and Jakes, and
that's hilarious. I'm sorry. There's just too many names.
There are. I need like to get a not like a family tree, but like a, you know what I mean, like a picture sheet.
Well, and I keep getting the girls mixed up because for some reason I think Kaylee looks more like a Maddie and Maddie looks more like a Kaylee.
Yeah, they look a lot alike too.
Well, so I keep getting them. But yeah, I mean,
Jack is Kaylee's and Jake is Maddie's. Okay.
So then, yeah, Jack would be the one that was called.
Okay.
That
right before this?
He was the one that was called like during, like at that 2:22.
Right. Okay.
He both called him over and over like 4 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my thing too. Is it possibly had something to do with the dog? That would explain like why the dog wasn't there.
Right.
And also like why they were calling him, but I'm not exact. Shay gifted 10 memberships, Mel.
Shay, I love you, babe. Thank you.
Aw, that's really nice.
Thank you, Shay. You're the best.
And Corey
is just
multiple Jacks and Jakes. So that's even worse. Like if it was just Jack and Jake, I don't think I'd be as confused. But the fact that there's like 4 Jacks, 4 Jakes, this, you know what I mean? That's what I think gets it going.
We got no Jills.
Right?
No, there was. The guy in the tan at the food truck's name was Joe.
Oh my.
No, I said Jill. There was no
Jackie.
Jill.
Is it possible? Let's see what Michaela said. Is it possible the red drum happened before 3 and the red drummer called the mail from their phones to make it look like they did? You see, there was no convo. He called and hung up.
I mean, if this all happened the way that it's turning out to happen, I don't see the person who did this hanging around and making 8 phone calls total from 2 different phones. I mean, anything is possible, Michaela, but I'd see it more as something that happened right before everything went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
unless it was one of the victims that called 911 as it was happening.
Right.
Yeah.
He was asleep.
And the person that was committing the crime hung up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's my idea, theory.
Yeah.
But so far, my theories have not been accurate.
Yeah. Your theories have been great. I mean, you can only have so many theories with the amount of information we've had. So
exactly.
Someone in the comments did say, what happens could the person have been in the house already waiting?
Yeah, I did see that.
Well, and that's my thought of, what if they were like, they came home and they were a little tipsy or something, and then they got home and they got up, they got into their pajamas, whatever, and at that time they're like, wait, why didn't the dog come up? Because I mean, they do have a lot of roommates, so maybe, but then that's like, oh, the dog's not around, so then they went running around and they're like, we can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Like, and then that's kind of how it happened. And Michaela, I say too, sorry, were you gonna talk? Someone gonna say something? Did I cut someone off?
I think both Candace and I were going to talk. I think I
Oh,
just
God, sorry.
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say something about Ray's comment that they had been out drinking and possibly those calls to the ex were something else. I don't know if it was like a quote unquote booty call, but you know how girls, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but you're out drinking, especially you're young and you got your ex and you're drunk dialing and you're calling them, and you know what I mean? Like maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
I've thought about that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And then the thought that because it was a more recent ex,
right,
he took Maddie's phone after the fact to see if he was just screening her calls and not everyone's calls.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and I think that's a possibility too.
Yeah. Hey, Bree, do your thing, girl. I think we all, like all of us, I think I can say for all of us that we're just so more confused now, so much more confused. Now, I do like how they put some speculations to rest, like the call was not from the killer.
Yeah.
What else did he say? There was another speculation that I heard that he knocked it down.
It was specifically the guy in the white hoodie that they were talking.
Yes, it was that. And literally, right when this live started, that's what I asked about. Which one did they clear? And that's the one that they said.
And that's the one I was pointing to.
Yep, me too, Eddie.
In the surviving roommate's phone, but then he would not specify that it was a surviving roommate that made the call.
Right.
Say that more friends came
Showed
over
up
after the event.
Mm-hmm. What I'm wondering, if one of their friends came over or something and saw what happened, and then like picked up one of their phones and just called.
That would be my best bet. I mean, I find it interesting that they said friends.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds that there was 2+ more people
that came over this morning
that just came over like that we're able to get to the, like when I think of it, I'm like, hey, this happened. One person sees it and the police show up. I don't imagine a group of friends being able to be there unless, I mean, they all could have come together, but.
Mm-hmm. Bree said what's, oh, I'm sorry, Mallory, keep going.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, Bree, no, we don't know for sure that that's what the calls were made for.
Right.
That was just speculation on what I thought could have possibly been. It just came to my head, but no, it's nothing like that has been anywhere near confirmed.
Yep. Yes, Ray. How exactly does someone who had to be covered in BLOD has to have bruises and scratches and cuts on their arms and hands make it out of that house unseen with no foot tracks or any, like nothing? Like, I completely agree. How is that even possible?
Well, especially with that drone footage that came out too, and there's nothing outside the house, like whether it be on the decks or anything like that too.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like footprints, and I found that really weird.
Yep.
Unless it was somebody that was ex-military.
Right.
Someone that knew more of what they were doing than just the
Yeah.
normal college kid or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And they cleaned up when they were done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing is they didn't clean up because people
It
are
was
saying
a
it was the
mess.
best thing that
No,
they've
I
ever.
meant themselves.
Oh,
I
got
meant
you.
themselves.
Yeah. And I guess from the pictures of the crime scene people that have been going around, you don't visibly see the huge mess that they were saying either, like from the outside perspective. So there is potential that they could have taken a route out of the house that was not covered.
Right. I'm wondering if the guy who gave them a ride, if maybe they realized they left something in his car, hence the numerous calls. It clearly wasn't a call for help, because if it were, they'd call 911. Yeah.
The only thing is that the person they called supposedly was not in town. If it's true of everything that's been said, which would mean he wouldn't have been the ride. But if his alibi is not true, which is very possible, then yeah, that could be smart too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. They didn't take a shower and change their clothes. How did they do it? Yeah.
Unless they went in knowing it was going to happen and dressed head to toe for that type of situation.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, y'all. Like, all y'all's, everyone, I love hearing y'all's thoughts and views, because I, I don't even have words, because I don't know, like, I wonder if they even have any, like, leads at all. Like, are they just completely in the dark and confused like we are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you hear how he said, if you got any camera footage.
Yep.
So the neighbor, from what I hear, had a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how the sister said she got the supposed Uber driver's information. But if she's able to see that, is it just at the front of the house? And if that is, then that would confirm that the person went in through one of the sliding doors or like
Yeah,
a window.
the back sliding glass door was unlocked.
Right.
Yes.
So they probably opened up that sliding glass door, and that's how the dog got out.
Yeah.
So if they open up the sliding glass door and the dog got out, then they were in the house already waiting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ray Finkel said, again, who drove them home? Had they talked about that person at all? I don't know. Mallory, Eddie, Candace, do y'all know?
Just that it's a private party, which I still think is weird. Like, they have not come out and said it was. So one of the girls' sisters said it was an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
The police have said it was a private party,
Mm-hmm.
but no one has said, no, it was not an Uber.
Right.
All just saying it's a private party, which potentially a private party aren't all Ubers like privately
Yes.
licensed,
99.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's still potential that it could have been an Uber,
Mm-hmm.
but the police have been very specific to not say Uber.
Right.
And I believe Uber came out with a statement saying we do not have any calls to that address.
Yep.
So I know there has not been any more information. Just another one of the things that has no questions.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine it could have been somebody who was an Uber, but also a friend at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be a Lyft too, Tyler. Yeah, because all of them are 1099. They're all independent contractors. By the way, Ray Finkel, every time I see your name, I think of Ace Ventura. Just a side note.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a Lyft. I think, too, the sister probably just assumed it was either Lyft or Uber because even people that do Lyft or Uber or have in the past have the sticker.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it was just a friend driving them home that at some point had driven for one of those ride-sharing apps,
right,
they could have taken it as that.
Michaela, Lyft is the same
does.
as Uber. I'm sorry, Michaela. Lyft is the same as Uber. Is like a rideshare app thing. Same thing.
What were you saying, Eddie?
What I was saying is that I have friends that drive for Uber, but when I call them and ask them for if I needed a ride, they would show up, even if they were using the app to pick people up, and they would still give me a ride just to give me a ride.
Right.
So it could have been an Uber, but he wasn't active on the app.
Yeah, not on the time or
yeah.
on the clock. That's the word.
Right.
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 And that's why I think it could have just been that her sister probably saw the emblem on the back of a car.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have just been, but I do find it interesting the fact that they would have had to have had it planned somehow because they ran off and then literally made it home in that 5-minute drive window that it would take to get from here to there.
Right. Yes,
So,
Michaela. Sorry,
yeah.
Keep going, Mallory. No.
No, I was just gonna say, so whoever it is, it's either if it's a private party, well then it's still someone that was like, hey, give us a ride home.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it could have been like just them like starting to walk home and just happen to get picked. You know what I mean? It sounds like something that was already in place. Like, hey, we're going to go stop at the food truck in 20 minutes. Will you pick us up and just drive us home on your way or something?
Yes.
Which either way, no.
You see how she was on her phone the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting for food.
Mm-hmm.
So she could have been like, can you come pick us up? Because there's this creep following us.
Yeah.
Because it looked like she took a picture of the dude in the background.
Well, no matter where you are, you don't really at 1:30 in the morning want to be walking in the dark. Unfortunately, in today's society, no matter where you are, just walking,
mm-hmm.
even if it is a 20-minute drive 20-minute walk or 5-minute drive, whatever it was. So, and that's, and Ebony, that was my point too, is they know who brought them home. They're just not telling.
Exactly.
I find it peculiar that they're not specifying, oh, a friend brought them home, an Uber brought them home, a Lyft brought them. They're specifically not putting that out there.
And they also haven't cleared that driver, have they?
Nope.
That's what I thought. It's just so crazy. I just can't imagine what these especially the 4, but the whole entire school, like, I'm a mom, so I just put myself in that position. Like, Candace, I know you are. Eddie, you freaking love children too. Like, imagine sending your child off to college like we all do and hoping that they're going to be safe. And it makes me sick. And I feel so bad.
I don't want to think about it.
I know.
Got 3 years and I could be sending one to college. So
I know. Me too. Yes. And
So when I was a bodyguard for a rock band down south, you always had to watch out for like the creeps.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would do like when the band was on stage, I didn't have to do like security on stage. So I'd be, around the crowd. And then me being a bouncer, so I would be like, I would walk in with the band, and the bouncers would know that I'm security for the band. And then I would tell them, do you need extra help just in case? And they'll be like, yeah, if you want to. I'm like, all right. Now, and this is down south. And I said, what are the laws here? Because the laws up north are totally different.
Right.
I said, if somebody is getting out of line, can you physically remove them from the establishment?
In Georgia, you can.
And they said yes. Well, in New Hampshire, in the beginning, back in the day, when I first started bouncing, you couldn't physically remove them. Okay. But now you can, because of the fact that you'll get some people who get belligerent, and you're trying to tell them to leave, and then they'll get physical with you. So now you can physically remove them. So I physically remove people when I have to, and trust me, they do not put up a fight.
No. I bet.
So I was always watching for creepers, you know what I'm saying? That were creeping up on females and stuff like that. And I've been to a few shows where dudes would creep on, look like easy women, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would physically remove them from the establishment, and then they would ask, why am I getting kicked out? And the exact words I use is, you're a creep.
Well, some people need to be told the hard way.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I think that girl took a photo of the dude in the background, because she felt like that dude was just creeping on her.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. Like, I walk everywhere, and I walk to go do stuff because we don't have a car. And if I don't feel comfortable, I will take a picture of the person, send it to somebody, and then call them while I'm on the phone. This is where I'm at. You have my direct location.
Yep.
This is who is bothering me, and I am talking to you.
Also, just to let y'all know, for anybody, I don't know if y'all are all aware of this. I know iPhones have something similar to this, but I'm not sure how to do it. But Androids, if y'all have an Android device, if y'all go to your settings in your phone, and go to, I think it's security and privacy. I'll have to look at it, but there's a way that y'all can activate this thing where
share your location.
Yes, it will share your location. It will take a picture of the front and the backs of your camera and send it to whoever's in your emergency contacts. It sends your location update like every few minutes. It will call them and leave them a voice recording. It's very, very useful. So I would suggest y'all looking that up in your phone and turning it on. And on Androids, you push your side key 5 times, like your side key button. You hit it 5 times really fast and it will activate it.
I think on the iPhone, hold down your side key.
Okay.
That's what activates
I think so too.
it. And then, but you have to go in and put your emergency contacts on there.
Yes, so, you do have to put those.
Yeah, because
there's also one for your kids too.
Yeah, because
Google has it set up.
I put my phone in I was at a campfire once, and I put it in the cup holder, and it was a little too small for my phone, so I shoved it, and it held it down. And all of a sudden, the person I was with, who happens to be one of my emergency contacts, was like, "Why are you calling me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. My phone's over there." And she's like, "You're calling me." And when I took my phone out, it was like, "You have to end this, or the police will be called in the next 30 seconds," or something like that.
Yes.
So
I did that
thing.
Yep, I did that. Me and my daughter were actually being silly when we were getting out of the grocery store, and I was riding, when we call it buggies here in the South, but when you take your buggy and you're going really fast and then you jump on it and you're flying down,
Right.
I was doing that, and I had my phone in my hand, and I guess I had hit that side key 5 times, and it alerted my mom, my dad, and my husband. They're all calling me, freaking out.
Well, my only thing is, when I did mine, it just called them, and it didn't leave a voicemail or anything. It just called them.
Oh, okay.
It showed up as a missed call, and I was like, Okay, but then my phone said it would have immediately called 911 if I would not have canceled it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yep.
There's a lot of good questions in here though, Mal.
Yeah, Ebony, turn that on. I think everybody needs to have that on. I think it's a great feature.
Ebony was saying a lot of really good things about the Uber.
Let me look.
There's also a family share thing I have through Google. I have control of all of my kids' phones, and if something were to happen, I can turn their phone on and get a location regardless. Even if there's only 3% battery, I have a backup plan on it that can turn it on
All the
for up to
comments.
15 minutes.
In my opinion, this is it. I start it so it wouldn't go away. In my opinion, if they couldn't clear the Uber driver, they would had put some kind of info out there about this person, the car name, etc. I agree with that.
Yeah, if there was any even slight thing that the Uber driver, if it was an Uber driver, and that didn't leave or circled back around, that would have been like everyone halt using Uber, like, because that's going to be on Uber, not on the school.
Right.
There's a reason they didn't do that. They probably didn't want everybody to be like, oh, I'm not going to call Uber. I'm not going to go to Lyft. I'm not going to go to this. So they don't want to name the company so that people aren't like, oh, we can't trust them because everybody's in speculation.
Yeah, and I swear the sister said in that interview that the Uber dropped them off. Or like when she said it, she said Uber, but I swear she said no, I watched the Uber drop them off.
Yes.
Like it wasn't, unless he came back around, which could be a thing, but I think the fact that they haven't said more about it necessarily,
yeah,
I agree that they would be doing a lot more right now if they even suspected that there was an Uber or Lyft or taxi or something like that involved, because that's an immediate risk to the community.
I agree.
Hey, so I don't trust Uber. I don't trust Lyft. I take taxis everywhere I go because several years ago when Uber first started up, there was an Uber driver that unalived somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't, you can't trust, those private share
My city
companies.
doesn't have a taxi company. We only have Uber or Lyft in my city.
What city do you live in?
Erie, Pennsylvania. We do not have a local taxi company.
Do they got city buses?
Yes, but they only go until 11 o'clock. And they don't run it all on Sundays.
We got MARTA here. That runs, I'm pretty sure, 24/7.
Yeah.
No, we have to walk. That's why there's so much stuff. We have to walk. We don't have taxi company. We did have a taxi, but the guy who owned the taxi company actually ended up unaliving himself in his building, and nobody ever took over the company since then. It's been 5 years. And our buses stop running at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. They don't run it all on Sunday, and on Saturday they stop at 9.
All right, so this is what you do. If you get into an Uber or a Lyft, make sure you're carrying some kind of protective weapon.
My
like
dog
a
goes with me everywhere I go.
or a very good large knife.
And
or
even
my gun goes anywhere.
Yes, and even if y'all can't afford, because I know times are tough right now, but if y'all can't afford a weapon, your keys, I was taught this in self-defensive training classes, your keys, when you are walking, put them in between your knuckles.
Yep.
And also, if you have a ponytail, I know this may sound stupid, but if you got a ponytail or a bun or anything like that, and you're on your phone with your head down, not paying attention, that is a very easy target for them to grab and they can take you wherever they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell people when you're walking, walk with your chin up.
Yep. Make eye contact. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Because if you're walking with your chin up, like Michaela said, you know what I'm saying?
You're more aware.
You got to be alert. You got to be alert.
I make sure I make conversation with every person. Even if they think I'm not watching, I make sure I make eye contact and say hi.
Yep.
So that they know that there's no way that that I know you're there, regardless.
Exactly. It's that eye contact that a perpetrator is less likely to make an attack on somebody that has eye contact with them than somebody that's completely oblivious to their surroundings.
Yeah, and there was
Also, I have a license to carry, so mine's out in the open. I don't think they can go ahead if you want. Let's see who can pull faster.
Yes, NorCal Gem, walk with a purpose.
Yeah, there was a case years ago of the young girl, she was a senior in high school, and she was abducted out of the Target parking lot in broad daylight. Do you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And
I do.
Yeah, so I mean, ever since that case happened, even when I'm at my local Target and I'm like, oh, I run into 6 of my neighbors when I'm at Target. I'm still like, get in my car, lock the door behind me.
Absolutely.
No matter what, even though I'm somewhere where I literally would take it on the sidewalk because I'm so comfortable here. Like, you know what I mean? It's still something that it's like today, sketchy people are everywhere. They can have the most like secure jobs and still be sketchy people doing scary things.
All right, so these I'm gonna edit my avatar, and these are in my bedroom at all times.
Yes.
See that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Those are in my bedroom at all times. So if somebody breaks in my house, they're gonna have fun.
Yeah. Eddie's like, come on.
The one with the blade and the brass knuckles on it. That's actually illegal in the United States to carry out in public.
Yes.
So I don't carry it out in public. I keep it in my room. It actually lays next to me in bed at night. So if somebody tries to break in, you know, I got a 75-year-old mother that lives with me. So I got to protect her. You know, so I don't play around, you know.
Yep. I don't blame you.
I've been in some situations where, you know, my mom's protection was #1 priority.
Yeah, City Girls Glams, I covered that case from day one. And when she was found, I actually have that on my channel. It's kind of embarrassing and cringy, but when she was found, I lost it. I was crying in that video, the update video of Naomi being found, and it was tragic. She was abducted literally in her car in the Walmart parking lot because she was on her phone on Snapchat, not paying attention.
She took the city bus to work, right?
Yes. And she was waiting for the bus. She did this every single morning, parked in the same spot every morning, did her same routine every morning. And people catch on to that. Creeps will catch on to that. And if you're not aware.
I think it was Ebony that posted it. She said, be careful of things being in your doorknobs of your vehicle.
And even on your door, like on your car, like money, people are putting money on it that is laced with certain stuff.
So
Tissues.
that you get powder on, and then all of a sudden you get the powder
You're
on,
passed out.
having to go to the hospital. Yeah.
Yep. So just please be aware. If y'all see money on the ground, even don't touch it. Don't touch it.
So social
I tell the kids that all the time. I was like, no, mommy will give it to you out of my purse. Do not touch that.
Yep.
Whatever it is, mommy will give you what I have.
Yeah. So what I've noticed in reality, is that back in the 90s growing up, you didn't have this issue.
No, you didn't.
Like social media has actually made it worse, made
100%.
society worse.
I agree.
I was born in the 90s.
I was born in
All right, so I'm 41 years old. So
you're my husband's age.
Yeah, so I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, and you know, you didn't. It wasn't common. You know,
you were going out playing until dark.
Yes,
I still did that.
Well, yeah, but like nowadays, I mean, it's scary to do that.
Yeah, like when everyone's like, you just have to come home as soon as the street lights come on.
Yep.
And that was, yeah, I mean, I was born in 94, so I still did that.
Yeah, you were the back end of it. 94, I was 13 years old.
That's so crazy.
So But the thing is, right, is
Oh, Sweet and Sleuthy, I am so sorry. I just saw this.
What?
I'm so sorry. That's shit. That crap is so freaking bad, y'all. I hate that stuff. Like, please.
and it's only getting worse.
It is. It's only getting worse. I am so sorry to hear about that.
Because they got these things going around that look like Skittles or
The
you know,
rainbow.
sweet
Yep.
they look like sweet tarts.
Yep.
Okay. And it's all fentanyl, you know, and people think it's candy and they're eating it and dying. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's bad.
Yep.
I hate that.
It
Well,
is, and the sad part about it is fentanyl doesn't show up on the standardized drug test, so it's
right.
not even drug tested. So most people are just using it because it's a cheaper way to get a quick fix and not realizing how hard and how much damage they are causing.
Agreed.
I was my mom had her gallbladder taken out because she had gallstones, right? And I was in the hospital room with her, and they came in and they gave her fentanyl for pain reliever, right? And I looked at the doctor. I said, "What the hell you doing? Okay, we have a pandemic in this country with that drug, and you're going to give it to my mother?"
It's
I said,
completely different in the hospital because I get what you're saying. What in the stuff on the streets that people are dying, it's called carfentanil, and it's mixed in with horse tranquilizer, and that's how they're getting the people. In the hospital, it's actually regulated. I
"Yeah,
understand, like, once you get the taste of it, and that's what we're scared of. But I'd rather get it in the hospital than out on the streets.
I'd rather get a morphine shot so I can go back to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
I'd
just
rather
got
get a morphine shot and
That
I go
didn't
right
work when
back
I
to
had
sleep."
my gallbladder taken out.
Yeah,
My gallbladder collapsed.
Mm.
So, yeah, I had emergency surgery on it.
I was on my deathbed several years ago, right? And I was in the hospital, and I was in so much pain. I think the reason why my body healed so fast when it did is because I was asleep a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I woke up, they'd come in, give
Yep.
me a shot of morphine. I go to sleep for 8 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, man, that's the most sleep I've ever got in my entire life.
Yes. I was on Dilaudid because I was in the hospital for a week and a half from rhabdomyolysis. Do y'all know what that is?
Yeah, only because I watched Monsters Inside Me.
I almost died. Like it was I've never even heard of that before in my life. And when I tell you I couldn't even walk. My dad carried me into the hospital.
What is it? I'm sorry.
No, so it's when you work out and you don't drink enough water. And when you work out, there's toxins that come out of your muscles.
I thought that was it.
Yes, and it has nowhere
Yes.
to go.
I thought that's what that was. I wasn't sure.
Yep, I worked out way too hard and I didn't drink enough water. And the next day I went to the hospital because I was so sore, and they just sent me home with pain pills. And I was like, I don't think y'all understand. This is not what I want. Like, I want y'all to help me. And they just were like, oh, you just have sore muscles from working out. Then the next day I started getting like these blister things seeping out of my legs. And I was like, this is not normal. And I went to go stand up. I could not stand up. I was so weak. My legs like wouldn't even work. And my dad immediately took me to the hospital. And I don't remember if it was what cell count it was, but your normal range is in the 200s and mine was 22,000. And the doctor was like, if we don't get these fluids in you right now and flush your stuff out, you're going to have a blood transfusion. And like, I'm surprised you're not basically dead right now. But whenever I was on that Dilaudid, I felt nothing. I was great.
Yeah.
So
That's because it makes you forget you're even in pain.
I would tell you guys right now, teeth pain is the biggest thing you got to worry about. Okay.
Or ear pain.
Yeah.
So I had it impacted
And I
wisdom.
pull my teeth out myself.
I had it impacted wisdom tooth, right? And I look like Sloth from the Goonies. I'm not gonna lie. So
That's funny.
the left side of my face was so swollen that you couldn't see my ear, right?
Oh gosh.
And I go into the hospital and they just give me antibiotics and painkillers. They didn't even check to see how bad the infection was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I go to the pharmacy and I couldn't afford to fill the prescriptions because it was so expensive. So the next day I go back to the same hospital, and the doctor that was seeing me had me stand in this room and had this machine go around my head, right? And she's like, "Yep, you're not going anywhere." I'm like, "Okay, why didn't they do this yesterday?" They should have, and I don't know why they didn't. Okay. So I could hear the doctor that was on the day before was on that shift the next day. And the doctor that saw me, you could hear her giving him a rash of shit, right? Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
But so the doctor comes in. She's like, "Yeah, you're not going anywhere. We're transporting you to Orlando for emergency surgery." I'm like, "Okay." And then my aunt, she works at the hospital, and she comes to where I'm at and she sees I'm shivering and I'm in pain, and she starts raising hell. She's like, "Get this kid warmed up and get him something for the pain," you know? So I had eaten in like 5 days. I was in so much pain. So they transport me to Orlando from Tavares, and the nurse that was, work with me noticed that I had eaten. So she's like, "It doesn't look like you're going to go into surgery until tomorrow morning." I'm like, "Okay." So she gave me something soft to chew and some Jello, like a tuna fish sandwich and some Jello. And then right after I ate it, they called me in for surgery. She's like, "Oh boy, please don't die on me."
Mm.
I said, "I got nothing in my belly. I don't think I'm going to die."
Okay.
So after I recovered from the surgery and like the 5 days went by, I saw the doctor who performed the surgery, and he's like, "Yeah, if you'd have waited another 36 hours, you would not be with us."
Mm.
I
Wow.
said, "Can you explain?" He's like, "The infection was not only traveling to your brain, it was traveling to your heart at the same time."
Oh my God, Eddie.
I'm like, awesome. So my grandmother, the whole time before I went into the hospital, she was like, "You got to man up. This is what you need to do. You need to quit being a whatever, And I'm like, my grandmother's a rugged woman, right? So she's like, "You just need to man up and deal with the pain." And then afterwards, she's like, "I should have listened to you and I shouldn't have said the things I said. I'm sorry."
Mm.
It was hilarious. My
Well, yeah.
grandmother's funny.
You're like, finally, thank you. No, I've never had teeth issues. Luckily, I've never even had a cavity in my life, and I'm 35. Thank the Lord. I don't know how, but I knocked on wood just in case y'all heard that.
My mom's a hygienist, so
Yeah, my aunt was a hygienist. My mom worked in a dental field until I was like growing up. So they were always like, "Only floss the ones you want to keep. You better brush every day." They were like super into that. But my husband has had tooth pain, and I'm telling you, like, he's a very strong man, and he is like a baby when it comes to that. And I can only imagine. He's like, "Mallory, it makes your whole entire face hurt."
yeah.
Oh, it does. It
The same
does.
for ears, because I also have TMJ. So my TMJ's been acting up with all this stuff with my ears too. And it's been just my whole face and my whole head just constantly feels like it's ringing.
You got TMJ, you said?
I do too.
TMJ.
Trigeminal neuralgia.
The what?
What?
That's what TMJ is.
Oh, I have that.
Where I don't have any cartilage in between my top and bottom jaws on my right side.
They thought my mom had TMJ, and come to find out, it was a nerve rubbing against the main artery in her head.
Oh.
And they thought my mom had TMJ, so that they prescribed her Neurontin.
Oh.
Okay, so in Neurontin, if nobody's ever heard that, and if you get prescribed it, do not take it
I was
because
just gonna say that.
Neurontin causes short-term memory loss in the brain.
Oh.
Okay, and if you take it for a long period of time, it could cause permanent damage to the human brain. The reason why I know this is because my mom was on it 5 years. Okay, and
Oh wow.
now she's struggling with short-term memory loss.
Oh.
Yeah. So not long-term, just short-term.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Michaela wants you to repeat the name again.
Neurontin.
Yeah, she's right.
Yep.
Yep, that is correct. Neurontin. Yes. It causes short-term memory loss. So if anybody in here gets prescribed it, tell your doctor no, prescribe me something else. Because one of the major side effects is short-term memory loss.
Well, thank you for saying that, Eddie. That's scary.
Yeah.
Medicine honestly scares me, y'all. Like, you get the medicine and you're coming out sometimes with more than what you came in for.
Tell me about it.
I'm like, I'm just.
I've learned that the fun way this last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's, what was it, yesterday? Was it only yesterday?
About your earache? No.
No, when I got taken by an ambulance.
Oh, yeah, that was yesterday.
Because I had an allergic.
That was yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, allergic reaction to my medication for my burst eardrums.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Mallory.
I know. And so I got taken by ambulance and was in the ER, and then I got to come home and I just slept.
Oh my God. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing is once you like are over like the initial thing of it, and then I'm just taking a lot of Benadryl,
Mm-hmm.
that like I feel fine. But like
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was a fun time. Now I'm on something else. But I will say it like this last week has just made me very anxious about anything. Like they'll be like, "Oh, this is just for this. There's no side effects." And I'm like, "No, no thanks." Or like they like were just giving me saline yesterday and I'm like, "Oh, maybe not."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nicole, that's why I said tell your doctor.
Yeah, consult with your doctor always, but
This is just our personal experiences.
Yeah, this is just personal experience. You obviously, please contact your doctor and just talk to them about it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You always want to talk to your daughter anyway, or your doctor about any medicine and the side effects that that is going to come with it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said when the doctor prescribes it to you, say no, because I know the side effect is short-term memory loss.
Right.
Yeah.
And they say that it affects people differently, but I know quite a few people that have taken that drug, and depending on the length of time you take it, it's the severity of the damage.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if it's a short period of time that you take it, then the effects, go away after a while. But the longer you're on it, the more damage it does.
Mm-hmm. My daughter's allergic to penicillin too, Red Eye.
I was gonna say too to Bree. I'm Mallory. She's Mal.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah, if she goes by Mal, I go by Mallory. Plus, technically, if we're spelling it out, my Mallory's with a Y and hers is with an I.
Truth.
Technically.
Yep, that is true. Everybody always spells my name wrong. Do they spell your name wrong? I get Mallorie a lot.
Yep, I get that a lot, but then I also will get just one L.
Yeah, I get that too. Yep.
Mallory.
Yep, I get that too. And then they're like, "Is that right?" I'm like, "Sure, I don't care." Whatever.
But, well, is there anything else about this case that we want to cover quick for this?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna go eat dinner, y'all. I'm starving.
Do you have when is your next one on the Tiffany thing? Do you know, Mal?
So tomorrow I'm gonna have my I think I'm gonna do Jason Landry tomorrow.
As a live or just as your pre-record?
As a pre-record. So
Okay.
on Mondays, we're going to do Missing Mondays, but it's either going to be a live or a pre-record. It just depends. So y'all will just know for sure there will always be a Missing Monday. It's just whether or not it's a live or a pre-record.
And then when do you do the follow-up? Those will be Fridays, right?
Fridays, yes. And then there'll be another case on Wednesday that I'll cover. Friday will be the live discussion over all the cases. And then obviously, if anything breaking happens with any of the cases we've talked about, I'll go live just randomly.
Okay. So are you still going to do it this Friday, considering it's Thanksgiving weekend and stuff?
Oh, I didn't even think about that, y'all.
That's why I was just
Shoot. I didn't even, good point, Mallory. I didn't even think about that.
I'm just wondering if maybe you want to do like a Tiffany Jason one maybe earlier in the week, like Wednesday or something instead.
Yeah.
Or even Saturday.
So like you're saying do Monday and then do a live after that? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then you could talk about, because I really want to talk about the Tiffany case. You got me into that one.
I know. Okay, so let's do that. I'll upload Jason's on Monday.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday, we'll go live to discuss Tiffany Valiante's case.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll just see what y'all are doing on Saturday in my Discord and on community and see if y'all just want to go live randomly and talk about Jason. If not, then we can wait till next week.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that sounds good then. I completely forgot it was Thanksgiving. I don't know why.
Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow, Wednesday night.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the second biggest drinking night of the year.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yep.
Yeah, the first New Year's Eve is number one, and the day before Thanksgiving is number two.
That is true. I used to work at a bar.
So,
well, I don't get to drink right now because of my meds. So I'll be here bored. Tomorrow I go back to work though for the first time in 2 weeks since all this funness has started happening. But I'll be here in time to be able to watch the video and be ready for Wednesday.
Yes. So also in chat, if y'all aren't aware about the Tiffany Valiante case, I did a pre-record on my channel. If y'all want to go check it out, because that's what we're talking about doing a live on Wednesday. So just to let y'all know. But I'll see y'all Monday and Wednesday then.
Alrighty, I'm gonna head out. Thanks again for having me, Mal. And it was good to talk to you guys, Candace and Eddie.
hey, Bree, we'll be praying for your husband.
Yes, Bree, we will. Praying hard.
Yeah.
He'll do great.
Have a good one, guys.
You too, Mallory.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. But I think Brittany is going to go live around 9 or so. So I might go over and pop in on her so that we can just like kind of go over everything some more.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
Okay, cool. So y'all make sure you head over to Brittany's channel tonight. I know she's going to go. She's not feeling good right now, but I'm like 99.9% positive that she's going to go live and just do like a recap of everything.
And then sit back and listen to our panel.
Yep, exactly. All right, y'all. Well, thank you everybody for joining and watching. I appreciate y'all so much. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Well, everybody should be subscribed because I have subscribers only live on. But
what is Michaela talking about? The DJ cheered the sus on.
Wait.
What case is Michaela talking about? I think she mentioned the Holden Hashi case is another one.
Oh, the Somalian girl from the Canadian bar. I think that's what she's talking about. The DJ cheered the suspect on. She sliced her. Oh my gosh. Is that the one that she's talking about?
Yes, that's the one she's talking about. Yes, this week it happened.
I haven't even seen that. I need to look at that. Wow. So Shay said that she's going live. She just talked to Brittany, so that's good. All right. Well,
okay.
Thanks, y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all on Brittany's channel tonight.
All right.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Red Eye. Bye, y'all.